Good morning, Jodie. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Excited to talk with you because more people need to jump onto Britbox. They need to put it on their flat screen because there's just something about storytelling from the UK that is just deeper and more compassionate and just richer than what we're getting over here.
That's a big compliment. So I'm not versed enough in all of the regions, but I would say that I am proud of the exporting of our dramas.
For you to play this role, how did you prepare yourself, A, and B, how are you now? Because if I had to play a role like this, I would have to have some mental help afterwards.
Do you know what? It's I was really lucky because the ensemble cast in time, obviously there's the three leads, which are me, Bella and Tamara, but also every single supporting role and the cast, the crew, everyone involved in it. We had a wonderful time making it, but also we were in this incredibly safe space where we could go there. And I think that with dramas like this, the authenticity has to come from us, and so it has to be as real as possible, but obviously with the acknowledgement that we're the lucky ones. This is pretend. We do get to go home. We aren't in the cell all night. And I think that it did make you appreciate that the light of day when you're walking off set and knowing that you can leave and that isn't everybody's reality. And I think that, for someone like Orla, the role for me was so well written, so detailed. Jimmy and Helen, the writers, have done this extraordinary level of writing. It wasn't easy by any means, but so much of the hard work is done for you. And I think that you meet my character in this absolute rug pull moment of a sentencing that is completely unexpected. And that free fall feeling was kind of given to me in the sense of I was 2 weeks late for filming because I was on something else. So I ran into it like a bull in a china shop, just trying to catch up. All felt very method.
This has to be the first time that I've been so engaged in a binge watch that I would, after each episode, I stopped and I wrote because I had to digest it, because I put myself in a position of what if you were this person? How would you react? What would you do? And that's how engaged I got into this storyline.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I think that that's the power of, particularly, Helen has written loads, but Jimmy McGovern for us is such a huge, passionate writing voice in the UK, and everything he's done has always challenged perception. He's not afraid to tackle stories that cover elements of society and people within society that are not necessarily given that window in. And so it was, as you can imagine, harrowing to shoot in some instances because it was so emotional. I think particularly for my character Orla, the frustration you can feel within a broken system where the sentence doesn't match the crime.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the reason why we love dramas like this is because of the compassion, or is it that we're comparing our own lives to it and thank God we're not there?
I don't know. It's different. I suppose everyone's individuality, and I think that what it's got to feel is authentic for me, because this isn't a heightened scenario. It's not dystopian. It's not sci-fi. And obviously I know all about that. So, there's no green screen in this. There's no acting opposite a tennis ball on a stick. All of this, what you want the audience to feel like is that these are real people that if you don't necessarily see yourself in them, you know them and can empathize. And I think that it gives humanity to what could be completely derogatory labels of people like prisoner, for Kelsey's character, drug addict, all these things where you see into the eyes of the human behind the storyline. And I think that that's so clever and beautiful in this writing.
Oh, yeah, because, Orla, seriously, as viewers, we wouldn't be prepared, and she isn't prepared. We get into that character so deeply because it's like, okay, what would be the next step?
This is the thing, obviously, with, it doesn't give too much away because it's the opening few scenes, so hopefully it's not too much spoiler. But Orla is sentenced without any preparation. So she hasn't, because it's such an unusual sentencing for her crime, she hasn't told anyone. And so the rug pull moment and the fear, because we're so contactable permanently all the time. there is the only really this environment where, unless you're in, you know, on top of a hill and there's no signal, but even that you can walk down the hill. In this scenario, you all ability to reach the outside world is taken from you in an instant and with zero planning. And I think that people could really tap into the absolute fear and worst case scenario moment for them in that, whether they, you know, whether they would have made the decisions all have made or not. You can completely empathize the situation.
How close is the designing of the set to the real prison system? Because, I mean, there's just, it feels like there's so much freedom there, but we know there's not freedom there.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is particularly it's not necessary to have seen season 1 of Time, but what is really incredible about season 1 of Time is that focuses on a men's prison, and this focuses on the female system, and it is, as you can see, you know, the difference on set design, because they're both totally authentic, and you know, and the research gone into that from every creative department is that this is a mirror image of, you know, of a prison that was visited. And so I think that's the thing. It feels as if, oh, okay, this is, you know, they're allowed to walk out of cells and things like that. But essentially, you know, there is no freedom. There is no, I can go pick my kids up from school, or I can even let them know where I am.
Yeah.
Particularly in that induction phase.
There are so many scenes inside the episodes that I saw that body language is everything. I can't imagine what the director was sharing. You know, give me more body language. Give me the reality of the moment. Because, I mean, I started reading the body language while listening to the actual, you know, the laying out of the storyline.
I think the thing that is so extraordinary about Andrea's direction is that she is so trusting in who she's brought on as the ensemble. Mm-hmm. So notes-wise, what was beautiful was it was never prescriptive. It was never emotive. It was always character-driven questions. So you as the actor found the answer, rather than I need you to do this now. And also the beauty of it, it was shot by a DOP who was so respectful of the space. And, you know, a lot of the time for me particularly, I'm in scenes only with myself, maybe on the phone. And so it'd be very close, you know, filming in a cell with the DOP. And that kind of freedom of movement, it wasn't you need to hit this mark, you need to do that. It was we will follow you. And I think that's why it feels so realistic, is because we were given this free reign to just explore. And that's just such a gift for an actor.
Wow. So many times when we hear of people that are sentenced to prison, they're out of the storyline, we just move on with life. But then we're introduced to somebody like Kelsey, and it's like, oh my God. And, you know, it's so haunting to be addicted and pregnant.
I think what is wonderful about this is for each individual person, it, you know, prison means a different thing for them. For you know, Abby's character, Mara's character, Abby, you know, without giving anything away, there's no question as to this isn't a will they be released or not. It's not about that. It's about their journey throughout the system. For Kelsey's character, what's interesting, and Bella and I touched on this, was, you know, Kelsey, in a way, her life gets back on track because of prison, whereas for Orla, it is the destruction and the destroyer of so many lives, and completely doesn't match the crime.
Yeah. You know, you just opened up my eyes to that, the journey through the system. You know, because you're right. We are so programmed as viewers to, oh, they're going to get out. They're going to go out to the streets again. But no, I mean, you really did open up my eyes on that.
I think the thing is as well, like, I'm obsessed with time anyway. And obviously from my previous job choices, I'm really into the exploration of the passage of time. But even in this, which is linear and, you know, like I was saying, not tapping into dystopia, what does happen, though, is 3 people experience time in a completely different way. And what prison is for them is experienced totally uniquely in a completely different rhythm. And I'd say for Orla, it's like a greyhound trapped in the cage, trying to get out of the cage. And for everyone else, it's slightly different. And I think that it's not only, it's like a perfect title because it obviously sums up prison time, but it also sums up how we experience it.
Yeah, because even with the way that you're explaining the title of it, I think it was in episode 2 of the second season where all of a sudden I'm going, oh my God, I get this now. I totally get it, because I did think of it as prison time first, but no, now it's time, as in like we're living in the presence of now. Let's live life.
Yeah, and I think that because for the character I play, there is various things that happen. Like her sentence isn't as great as other characters. But because of that, it doesn't mean the destruction on her life is any less. And I think that is what is, my prison sentence is tiny compared to other people's.
Yeah.
But the grenade effect it has is huge.
Yes, it is. You got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you, Jodie.
Thank you very much. It was lovely chatting.
You be brilliant today, okay?
Thanks. You too. Thank you.